The moment the man in the suit said, "You're not who you say you are," the entire gym went silent. All eyes turned to Jenny Adams, our school's golden girl, standing there in her designer heels, face frozen in shock. It was like everything we thought we knew about her shattered in an instant. And yet, somehow, the quietest person in the room, Sarah Adams, just stood there in the corner, calm as a stone. But let me back up, because this whole thing didn't come out of nowhere. Jenny Adams was the queen of our high school. She wasn't just rich, she was famous for being rich. Everyone knew about her family, the Adamses. They supposedly owned half the businesses in town and were the closest thing our city had to royalty. Jenny made sure everyone knew it too. She talked about her family's vacations in the south of France, their private chefs, their mansion with the marble floors. She didn't just talk about it, she flaunted it. She wore designer clothes, drove to school in a fancy car, and always had the latest tech. People either worshipped her or hated her, but nobody ignored her. She was everywhere, class president, cheerleading captain, head of every committee. Then there was Sarah Adams. She wasn't related to Jenny, but they had the same last name, which, now that I think about it, was like some cosmic joke. Sarah was, well, invisible. She wore old jeans, carried this faded backpack with fraying straps, and ate her lunch alone most days. She worked quietly in the library and never got involved in anything. If Jenny was the sun, Sarah was the shadow you didn't notice unless you were really paying attention. The only reason I even knew Sarah was because we both worked in the library during lunch. She was funny in a dry, sarcastic way, but she never talked about herself. If someone brought up Jenny Adams, she'd just roll her eyes and mutter something like, "She's exhausting." I thought Sarah was just annoyed by the whole Queen Bee thing, but now I realize there was a lot more going on. Things started to unravel during the school fundraiser. Jenny had hyped it up for weeks, saying her dad was going to match every dollar we raised. 10 grand was on the line, and everyone was going nuts trying to make it happen. Jenny was everywhere organizing events, giving speeches, posting about it on social media. She made it sound like this was her family's personal gift to the school. The night of the fundraiser was the big reveal. The whole gym was packed, students, teachers, even some local business owners who wanted to see the Adams family's generosity in action. Jenny was standing on stage in this perfect dress, holding the microphone, soaking in the attention. Then, the man in the suit walked in. At first, I thought he was someone's dad. He looked out of place, like he'd just come from a board meeting. He didn't say anything at first, he just walked straight to the stage, his shoes echoing in the quiet gym. When he finally spoke, his voice was calm but loud enough for everyone to hear. "Miss, we need to talk about the fraud you've been committing." The gym went silent. Jenny froze. For a second, I thought this was some kind of prank, but the man wasn't joking. He pulled out a thick folder and started flipping through it. "You've been impersonating members of the Adams family to gain access to private events and funds. This stops tonight." The whispers started almost immediately. Jenny looked like a deer in headlights. She stammered something about a mistake, but the man didn't stop. "Your parents don't own Adams Industries. They don't even work for the company. Your family has no connection to the real Adams family, and yet you've been using their name to gain social and financial benefits." That's when someone in the crowd yelled, "Wait, so who's the real Adams family?" And just like that, all eyes turned to Sarah. I don't know how to explain it, but Sarah didn't even look surprised. She stepped out of the corner, hands in her pockets, and said, "That would be me." The gym exploded. People started yelling, asking questions, pointing. Jenny looked like she wanted to crawl into a hole. The man in the suit nodded at Sarah, then looked back at Jenny and said, "We'll handle this from here." He escorted Jenny out of the gym, leaving the rest of us in chaos. The next day, the rumors were everywhere. Some people thought it was all fake. Others were furious at Jenny for lying. But the craziest part? Sarah didn't change a thing. She still wore her old jeans, carried her beat-up backpack, and worked in the library like nothing had happened. I finally worked up the courage to ask her about it a week later. We were shelving books, and I said, "So, you're really rich? Like Jenny rich?" Sarah snorted. Jenny wasn't rich. She just pretended to be. Okay, but you are, I said. She shrugged. Yeah. My parents own Adams Industries. Big deal. I didn't want anyone to know because, well, look what happened to her. She had a point. Jenny had transferred schools by then. Word was, her family had racked up a ton of debt trying to keep up the charade. Sarah, meanwhile, stayed exactly the same. The whole thing taught me something I didn't expect. Jenny had spent years trying to convince everyone she was someone she wasn't, and it destroyed her. Sarah, on the other hand, had everything Jenny wanted but didn't let it define her. To this day, I think about Sarah's words, "It's easy to act like a queen when no one's asking to see your crown." Turns out, the real royalty doesn't need to prove anything at all. Thanks for watching. Kindly tell us what you learnt from this story in the comment section. Till next time.